do have a ban onto Nami for now, as well as a Darius on the side of Alliance. So far, it does seem like things are starting to, kind of go off pretty nicely. I am really looking forward to see what kind of power play that they're going to be looking at.
Yeah, usually why you would want to see a ban on a Darius, it's kind of goes both ways, where you're really afraid of the Darius to pop off, because Darius is one of probably the most ridiculous champions right now that can really control the top lane once he starts that ball rolling. He has a lot of split power potential if you can build him up for that particular point, and just maybe it's also one of the favorite picks going into for BDG, which seems like what Alliance is setting up right now. The Nami ban as well, just to at least remove that point of safety, and immediately they pick up the Lee Sin. So this is a lot of champions as well that Lee Sin can be trifled, that can really hinder the Lee Sin's aggression in the early game, in the early stages, and losing the Nami as well as the Darius makes easier targets going into the side lane. So I really like the starting pick here from Alliance.
And as it is for now, with the next of the batting pool, we'll be looking at Nami being banned out, Draven, as well as Evelynn. So we're just gonna be tossing all of that aside and looking at how Alliance is gonna be working out with their picks. With Lee Sin, Akali, as well as Braum, things are starting to look like they're very more on the assassin side, whereby they would really want to break down BDG's main ADCs down as fast as possible. But unfortunately, we are unable to see exactly who is gonna be BDG's ADC yet, as they only have picked up Orianna, Alistar, Wukong. Until now, then we are able to see Kai'Sa.
I would just assume the reason why we're not seeing a Draven here is he's ridiculously powerful for the moment as an ADC. You know how the blades, when you're able to toss them and just juggle them in, the kind of combination of that, the consecutive hits really does just hurt any ADC matchup. And if you couple that with a Braum and an Alistar with a good amount of CC, the damage output is just going to be wild, especially at the start. So I think both of these teams just really trying to negate anything that can hinder the start of the game for them. That's why we're seeing a lot more of these particular bans for now for us. Now, we haven't seen really the ADC for the side of Alliance, and now they've picked up the Vayne. I'm not really sure what I feel about this Vayne in particular going up against the Kai'Sa, but maybe, just maybe, I do like the point that you can use your Vayne in a way that you can harass Kai'Sa, just because her bolts will be able to deal consecutive damage if you can connect the Frostbite, I think, the passive of the Braum that can stun the Kai'Sa. That will force the Alistar to peel away from you, and that's never really the point where you want to play. Also, Vayne is really good going into the later stages of the game. It can allow you to get a good amount of control on the objectives, and it just scales really, really well alongside the Kai'Sa.
At this moment in time, we should be looking at Big Daddy Golem. They should be picking up a Yasuo. No, they are not picking
the correct terminology for that. Now we're going to go into that game. Or in the best of 3. Game number 1, man. Let's go.
Looking forward to this and see how exactly this game is going to play out. And of course, we'll just have a little bit of understanding, or maybe even just kind of have a small little theorycraft as to how these players are going to lane. I mean, it's not exactly a theorycraft. We should know in some sense how these players are going to lane. Here in up in the top lane, in the Baron lane, we should be looking at Camille fighting against Akali. In the middle lane, we should be looking at Orianna fighting against Ahri. And of course, down at the bottom, Dragon lane, it should be Vayne and Braum fighting against Kai'Sa and Alistar. But there could be a stronger possibility that we should be looking at more of a, in some sense, 1-2-1/1-3-1, because we can expect more roaming potential from both sides, with the Lee Sin and Braum, as well as Big Daddy Golems with the Alistar, as well as the Wukong.
Minions have spawned.
Okay. I think we need to... Yeah, there it is. Just keep checking the sides here. Ward placement is always a must, especially in these high-tempo plays. Like you said, there is going to just be both of the teams just going to their standard lanes. We're not going to see the lane swaps just yet. And turret diving is fine, but I think the changes that you just said a while ago just stops the point of being able to harass somebody's turret after they die, after your take. So at least there is still some chance for the solo laners to get back into their lane and soak up a little bit more XP before they lose their turrets. So, you know, it's not as quickly snowbally as it was before.
We're going to be looking at Alliance with a really early setup right on top of BDG. The concussive blows managed to land a really nice stun on top of Fizzy Fish. HP already down to less than 50% HP. Just can't play that risky anymore. The Winter's Bite lands on the I Am Groot, and it does seem like the final shot coming in from our Vayne manages to bring down Kai'Sa. A little bit too early from the side of Big Dirty Golems, but I believe that massive amount of aggression from Alliance is just a little bit too much for Big Dirty Golems to handle. And with that, another death down for the side of Alliance. I'm not too sure about that turret diving from the side of Alliance, but alas, 1-for-1. It does seem like the game is still too early for us to even say anything.
I mean, that's a kill for the support, not the ADC for BDG. So that's still a advantage for Alliance. Yeah, it definitely isn't, but I'm pretty sure Shinsekai fat-fingered, because he wasn't supposed to dash in. He knew that he was just going to back away already, because he burned the flash of the Alistar. There was no way for him to really get the kill, especially if he's like level 2, level 3, underneath a turret that's still pretty damn strong with him not having enough HP. He just dies to that. Still, the control for this game looking to be Alliance, because they left a lot of opportunities for Raven to keep on farming. He's already 4 to the 3 of I Am Groot here, and when he goes back into his base, which he hasn't done, if I'm not mistaken, he's gonna have an item up against I Am Groot. So that is definitely not what you want to happen, because you can see the power of the Vayne already. If you can get hit by the passive, the Braum, the 3 stacks into the stun, he just harasses. The combo is just real. Look at that.
Oh, does seem like the final shot coming in from the concussive blows did not quite land, but it's not that big of a problem, because I think that Alliance, they should be wanting to just kind of force BDG away, at least from the Dragon Lane side. So we can pretty much be expecting that I Am Groot is not going to have a really good time when it comes to farming. In fact, I Am Groot should probably head back soon. If not, a Glacial Fissure from Rich is going to be the death of this Kai'Sa. Just gonna be a little bit more XP down onto the road for Rich is going to be the death of perhaps even both of them. The concussive blows lands on the Fizzy Fish, and both of which are already low on health. Shinsekai is just gonna be wandering around the opponent's jungle, but HY joins right in. Just gonna be working around Glory Twixter as well as a Cyclone. They try to work it all out, but unfortunately it does seem like the deception coming from Cryo didn't manage to get himself a decent amount of kill right on top of this Wukong. With 3 men down already, Alliance have managed to push BDG with their back against the wall, and just like that, 4 easy kills in favor of Alliance. And Big Dirty Golems, unfortunately, they are also going to lose the blue golem.
I mean, that's the least of their worries here, Abstract, my man. Oh my gosh, that's okay. There's a point where you know you have to get out of a fight when you make a mistake or when you lose your front line. And BDG, seeing that Hylim was still there, and he got one knockup on the Ahri while her ultimate was still active, meaning that she had like 1 to 2 more dashes to get out of harm's way. And there was the Kai'Sa chasing her in, using her ability just to go in too deep to the fight, wherein she wasn't. I think she didn't see that there was like 3 more members of Alliance coming into the bottom side of the wave. That's just a beautiful charm coming in here from Cryo, and a fight ensues once again, losing the ADC and everybody just rushing in. This is the point where Alliance is just manhandling BDG. It's so close, it's so near into the game, but you're already feeling the seams breaking for BDG as Alliance gets 7 kills above BDG.
My oh my, it's just 5 minutes into the game, and we are looking at almost a 6,000 goal lead for the side of Alliance. That is not good. Big Dirty Golems, yes, granted, they did manage to get themselves the turret at the top lane, but that is probably their only merit. They're just going to be kind of just closing the gap a little bit more. Alliance did manage to get themselves the Inferno Drake, one of the best Drakes, by the way. So Big Dirty Golems, they do have such a huge hurdle to just kind of get themselves across.
This is already, I would say, deterring for them. Probably one of the best ways for BDG to just play right now is to keep their jungle intact, but this is where they start to be a bit more afraid. If Hylim just does not do anything here, he's going to be in a really bad spot. Although, nice little dodge onto the charm. Cryo's not going to be able to capitalize, but they weren't even looking at Hylim. They were looking already to set their sights into the turret. It was the first blood of turrets for BDG, which was great, but they returned the favor in the blink of an eye as they rotated 4 of their members on the top side of the map here. Cryo spots at the 1, but doesn't really want to commit onto Hylim as he knows that there is going to be that invisibility up for the Wukong. Everybody else from BDG is playing alongside this map here, and we're going for the polar opposites. North Pole, South Pole. Seems like Sarah is going to commit his protocol there, and Cryo is just in a really bad situation. Might be able to get out of harm's way, and she was able to gulp the wild beans or the wild fruit and still keep herself alive. Is she going to be able to charm in Sarah back into the embracing hands of that turret? It's not going to happen, and the commitment comes out. Iron Groot finally getting the kill, but here comes the other members from Alliance going in for the punish.
And the Glacial Fissure lands right on top of Iron Groot. There's no way that Groot is going to get himself away from all of that. And just like that, it is going to be a 1-4-2 trade, and Alliance should be able to get themselves with yet another turret, or perhaps go for the next objective. Since they have lost Camille, they have also lost Kai'Sa. It will take some time before they will be able to regroup themselves right on top of the Baron's Pit. So shouldn't be too much of an issue for Alliance to even pick up this objective over here. They should be able to get a free turret from this. Rift Herald probably in the middle, or most likely in the middle, right? So probably drop down the Rift Herald once the next Drakes comes up. So because that automatically puts a main priority onto defending the first tier turret. In the meantime, take a look at the bottom lane. It does seem like we do have a little bit of the 5-point strike coming in from the side of Kai'Sa. Tries to activate and tries to just kind of initiate on the side of this Alistar, but all by herself. There is no way that she could even get herself out of that obstacle until now, because the rest of the Alliance, they are slowly creeping their way into the jungles of BDG and almost instantaneously melted that Wukong down, and they are not gonna give Groot any chance to run away as the charm connects right on top of Kai'Sa again.
They overstay their welcome in their own jungle. Where's the justice in that for BDG here? I do like how they're able to punish the overcommitments of Alliance, but after these small types of victories, they're not able to react quickly enough to the aggressive positioning of Alliance around their map, like so, and they're getting very much punished for it. They're getting these kills, but they're kind of trading it for even more deaths on their end, because they get 1 kill, but they lose 3 of their members after like 20 seconds of them, you know, just... What do you say about how do you say this? Enjoying the merits of their small victory there, and Alliance just capitalizes on it. They're, like I said, their composition is so quick in being able to rotate around the map that they're using that to keep BDG always on their toes.
And now the next Drake is up. Alliance, they are very confident, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem for them to even snag this Drake out, and they are just going to be working right on top of Cairo. But unfortunately, throughout all of that season, even the highest tech ultimate was pretty much dropped on the Ahri. After all of that ultimate, they only managed to bring 1 person down. Will they be able to bring Raven down as well, though? The Condemn is not yet right onto Groot. It is pretty much a 1v1 assault right from Kai'Sa, Vayne to Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa wouldn't even be able to do anything. I'm calling it. This game is over for the side of Big Dirty Golems, and we should be looking at what exactly Big Dirty Golems should be looking at for the next game. How should they be? How should they overcome against Alliance for the next one?
They just don't have enough firepower as of the moment. Blade of the Ruined King only for the Kai'Sa. I'm not even sure if she bought that or she had that during the game because the weapons weren't up. But Phantom Dancer and Blade of the Ruined King for this Vayne just means that she has so much skirmish potential, and deep into the fights, you saw that the silver bolts of the Vayne was better than the multi-hits of the Kai'Sa, because Kai'Sa needs some form of setup first to kind of heat up and, you know, create her burst potential, but she just does not have that. And Raven was fantastic with her positioning, always just playing in left and right, and because there's some form of in-breed property for at least 2 of the players of Alliance here, the squishies of Alliance, they're able to just bamboozle and keep BDG guessing because they cannot set up these wombo combos. Now another fight will ensue and they just chase right in.
It doesn't seem like things are going to go well for Hylim as well. He's just going to be cycloning on his spot. It is going to be part of his warrior trickster, but there is nothing that he can do to even get himself away from the grasp of Alliance. They have pushed up too much. The setup is already too good for the side of Alliance. BDG, they are forced to just stay in their base. There's nothing that they can do with all of them on a respawn timer. So the inhibitor turret in the top lane is now gone. The middle lane inhibitor turret is understandably going to be gone as well. Alliance would want to close this game out as soon as possible instead of running themselves down to the bottom lane, I think, because, I mean, if I'm them, I would be pretty confident. Just gonna be regrouping a little bit, hoping that the opponent just kind of overextends themselves, such as a situation like now, unless they want to regroup right onto the Baron Nashor.
And this is, I mean, they can take the Baron right now if they wanted to. They forced the Shockwave out of the Orianna here, and this is it's just no bueno. Anyways, Fizzy Fish, he's gonna get the exhaust on Raven, but when Raven is going in at like 1,000 miles per hour and exhaust that lessens your percentage by a couple, we'll only put him like 800 miles per hour. It's still pretty big, and he's just able to run through his opponent. Like you said, they're setting their eyes onto the Baron, and even if Akali is gonna be in this 1 versus 4, that Smokiverse allows her to just play around and still deals a significant amount of damage, even using the Sawyer's Hourglass to take down Groot. He's burning, he will survive, but the Baron still goes into the hands of Alliance.
The Baron is going to be an easy take for Alliance as Akali has bought more than enough time. In fact, so much time that, I mean, it's not really more about time at this point of time. Alliance's Akali just dealt so much damage. I did not expect to see that perfect execution, just burning down so much damage from the side of BDG. Perhaps just one more champion from the side of Alliance would be enough to melt down the entirety of BDG. So I think let's just wrap this up a little. Let's just wrap this up here, because Alliance, they are definitely going to get this win. I'm just looking forward to see how BDG is just going to be using this game as a learning outcome, because the early game down in the Dragon lane is going to be tough for I Am Groot to even handle against Raven. They need to probably change things up a little bit and ensure that Raven is kept in control.
Hylim's just prolonging the inevitable. Now, one thing that I do want to point out here, Abstract, that was a big 4K ult from the... Oh no, from the Shockwave, but at the end of the day, it's just a tad bit too late. And the point that I was gonna tell you, Abstract, here